Can you or should anyone ever forgive a partner who has cheated?
I think when you have children, yes. When you have children, you can do it. The reason being is children benefit from seeing mum and dad go through troubles, going through it, staying together. But forgiveness and staying are not the same thing. Staying with your partner and then punishing them and being horrible to them and controlling them and being abusive is not forgiving. Forgiving is, we're going to start fresh. What made you want to cheat? Let's try and fix that. But what I noticed, especially when men forgive women, it's not always good, because they start to lose respect for themselves. They start to think, I'm such a fucking idiot. How can I forgive her? And they get angry at themselves. And
Do they end up wanting revenge?
They want revenge and they get abusive, either physically or mentally. Where are you going? What time are you going? This, that, and the other, calling her names, calling her this, that, and the other. Women do it too when they've been cheated on, but women tend to just withdraw their love. They no longer love you. They no longer want to sleep with you. Whereas for men, when they forgive you, they hate themselves for not being strong enough to leave you. So they end up being verbally and physically abusive because they're a less happy person. So I say, if there's no kids, don't do it.
Yeah, I generally would probably not forgive.
Have you ever forgiven by it? Like, have you ever been softer and thought, let me try and forgive?
No, I mean, fortunately, I think I don't know for sure, but I feel like I've been in a position where I haven't really been cheated on.
Yeah.
But there's, in my earlier days, in my early 20s, I think for sure it happened. Now that I look back at everything.
Yeah.
And
but I think you've never been in a situation where it's been outright, someone's cheated?
No, but the other person had started speaking to someone.
Okay.
So in a way, I just thought, well, it's over.
Right.
And I think if someone has cheated, it's never going to be the same again.
Yeah,
it really isn't. Like, even though you try to tell yourself as much as possible, oh yeah, we can make it work again. You're always going to think about it, and the trust is gone. And what I've noticed in a relationship, when the trust is gone, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you start to be mad at yourself for not being strong enough to leave them. And when you're mad at yourself, you're a difficult partner. You're angry, you're aggressive, you're hostile. You don't want to reward them. You're like, oh, why should I cook for them? Why should I give her why should I give her a birthday present? You start to withhold the good things, but really unleash all the bad things. So I think it's always a bad thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out well.
What advice would you give to somebody who's in a relationship or dating someone who has experienced severe emotional trauma, usually maybe in their childhood?
Oh, okay.
So how do you deal with that?
The thing is, when you've been traumatized in your childhood, you can't help but look for trauma in adulthood. So you'll look for somebody who will reincarnate that trauma. Somebody, say, for example, parent is abusive, you look for an abusive partner. Parent is absent, you look for an absent partner. You owe yourself the right to feel loved in the correct way. So select wisely. Selection is everything. Try not to, because what happens is when you've been traumatized, somebody who feels familiar, even though it's chaotic and horrible, you'll be drawn to them because it feels familiar. And you label that as chemistry. And somebody who's nice, consistent, and caring, you see as boring. And you're like, oh, I don't want that. You owe yourself to look for peace, not pleasure. Because in the long run, that peace will give you that comfort you always craved as a child. But that chaos will rehash all the traumas and you are left feeling so low. So you owe yourself that experience of love if you didn't get it as a child. Try and think about it like that. That child that in you that's been hurt and traumatized needs love. Go to somebody who gives it, not somebody who reminds that child that they're unworthy. Because that's what the people tend to do. They reincarnate all the horrible things.